Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of oh no,
Ah!
I'm one of your fortunate, accomplished hosts. Joining me as always is our other fortunate and accomplished host, Beth Martin. Beth, the pleasure as always. What's the
Like accomplished, not today, buddy.
not today? And I refuse to do a second take. I'm one take Andy, as we know.
Even
Even if I fluff the first take, that's the take you're getting, all right.
if you bluff. I think that's like the first time you've ever fluffed a take.
I think flub that badly. I sometimes stumble over words, but that's definitely the first like complete brain fart.
Yeah, where we were like, oh, like someone's like just got kicked in the what we call the jelly beans
In the
in
nards.
this family, the nerds. With kids, it's like, what do we call them? And
Yeah.
at school or at camp or something, Charlie was like, we call them jelly beans. And I was like, I kind of like that.
Yeah, jelly beans is nice, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it kind of undersells the impact getting kicked in
Right.
the jelly beans. But
Yeah. Well, maybe it's different when you're 7.
well, that's true. That's a good point. I don't really
I don't know.
remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. These are things that I will never know nor understand.
You got no
So,
frame of reference.
no.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, no, not really.
They're overrated, to be honest. What a headline for the show, right? Nuts, overrated, guys.
So, I have to just so the episodes that we did on The Simpsons,
Uh-huh.
uh, I'm already going off topic,
Go
and
for it.
just blabbing about whatever we want to talk about. So, like, we watched maybe the first 5 episodes, like a month ago or whatever, with the
Uh-huh.
kids, and they thought it was hilarious. And it's so interesting watching this cartoon become part of their lexicon.
Oh, interesting.
It's happened. It's like it's a phenomenon that I've never seen before. It's
Hmm.
crazy. It's crazy.
I love
So,
it.
um, the phrase in the house is never put your arm out of, or yeah, never put your arm out of the school bus window.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, right. So in the episode, like they're going on a school field trip. I can't remember where, even though I just watched the episode. And that's kind of the way The Simpsons is. It's like you don't necessarily remember what it's about, but you remember the sayings that come out of it. And
Yeah.
Mrs. Krabappel is like, never put your arm out of school bus window. And then later on, they're at like the army surplus store, and the guy's there to help him, and he's got his arm pinned up. And Bert's like, "How'd you lose your arm?" And he's like, "Never stick your arm out of the school bus window, kid." And they were like, the kids were dying. So like, yeah, we just got back from French Polynesia trip. We were gone for 2.5 weeks,
Hmm.
and like we were taking the kids out on the boat a bunch, and like they're putting their hands in the ocean, and they're like, "Never put your arm out of the school bus window." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm doing so good as a parent."
Amazing.
I know.
That's a great thing to be drawn from, honestly. Like
I know, I know. And
uh,
Mike's going out of town tonight for like a week and a half.
mhm.
And that's my plan, is to watch
Lots of
the
Simpsons.
Simpsons, and then the Ryan Reynolds' like Wrexham documentary about soccer.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Have you watched that?
No. I
Okay. But football, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. It's football. I'm not a football guy. And I find that whole thing,
Ooh.
I know that's gonna get me a lot of complaints. I'm not really a sports guy, to be perfectly honest with you,
Yeah,
but
we
like
call it sport ball in this
sport ball,
household.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like I had a passing interest in like basketball in the 90s, which I think we've touched on before.
But yeah,
It's
yep.
actually gonna come up something that had made me think about this episode actually was or this episode idea was basketball related. But like I've never they just have never kind of got their grip into me at all, any sports.
No, it's like a phase thing for
Yeah.
me too. It's like, okay, like yeah, like when basketball was, I don't know, it's like it was the dream team,
Yeah.
going to the Olympics.
It's
Oh, so we were in French
oh
Polynesia
yeah.
for the Olympics. Not, we
Hmm.
didn't go, but like we were on
Sure.
the same island, and it's not a very big island, so we could have driven down, but it's like the big Tahitian wave, and I'm depending on how you pronounce it, it's Chopu or Teopu'u.
Hmm.
Sorry everyone. but you have to like take boats out there. It's like way, way the fuck out there. So there's no way like we would have been able to see any of the action. But like everyone was watching and like one of the Tahitians won a medal and so they were super excited.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
I I was like tangentially, I was like probably the most, removed way you can absorb Olympics in that I was enjoying the memes. But like beyond
Yeah,
that,
man.
the
Holy
like
shit.
the pistol memes were
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
The
yeah.
breakdance and
And
stuff.
I feel yeah, the pistol guy, that was
Legendary.
great.
It
The
was.
breakdancing thing is breaking my heart.
I agree. Yeah, I don't
It's
I
like
really was like this
ugh.
feels all really harsh. I also love her like dance hip hop dancer, hold on, break dancer name Ray Gun is
Reagan.
fantastic, is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really got too much shit for that, and it really made me feel pretty bad because it was like she's having a good time, she's putting herself out there. Don't fucking be an asshole,
I'm not gonna lie though, I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah,
Like I tried like because we didn't have internet really. Uh so like just trying to like watch it finally
yeah.
and like the Olympics has been taking the videos down so you can't really it's like hard to
Oh,
find
interesting.
now. So I finally watched it and like I didn't there's so much I don't know about I don't know anything about breakdancing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's super cool and I'd like to know more about it. But like I didn't know like the point system. I don't like it doesn't exist in real life and like the way that they set it up, like the battles and how to
Yeah.
score and basically they allowed breakdancing to happen this time, but they were like, but we're never going to allow it again.
It's a
So
shame.
like I know. So it was like it had nothing to do with her.
Yeah,
But they're making it be like this was our one chance to show like how great of a sport this actually
yeah.
is, and
It's,
blah 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 blah.
it's something I heard a compelling argument, and it goes along with the theme of one of our other episodes for like making wrestling an Olympic event because like essentially when you boil down to the root of what wrestling is, it is a like organized movement between two people. Do you know what I mean? So it's not dissimilar from like figure skating or
Mhm.
breakdancing. You could point score them depending on how they perform their kind of routine, and
I
it's
also think like stunting,
yes, it
like in
is. And
films,
hmm
and that is
yeah,
like anything you're like doing something intense with your body
yeah.
that's like viewable on like public television.
Oh, that would rule actually. Just like guys doing stunts and getting rated on them. Yeah, I like that. Just taking a
Yeah.
big ass fall and really like one of those inflatables. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Or like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna jump off like a 30-story building under one of the big
Yeah.
giant pillows. Like, I want to see that.
Yeah. Who
That
does it
would be
best?
fucking right, right?
Yeah. I love
Huh.
it. Okay.
Here
All
we
right.
go.
Beth and I are taking over the
Everyone, you're welcome,
Olympics.
world. There's your big idea.
It's in LA. We invaded in LA in
Thank you,
2028.
Tom Cruise, for telling us where the Olympics is gonna
Oh yeah,
be in the
thanks,
next 4
Tom.
years.
And we insist that they have a stunt competition.
If you want
Okay.
to come for that,
Yeah, I mean, I might. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's gonna
maybe.
be right here.
Yeah,
You should
maybe.
probably do
All
it.
right. Who knows where I'll be in 2028? Uh, or what my life will look
Uh,
like then. But yeah, let's pencil it in anyway. Um, okay, wait, okay, right. So,
what's the crack with you?
okay, so the trials and tribulations of dog setting. The saga continues. It's been,
Oh,
it's been, up and down. There have been some nice experiences. There have been some less chill experiences, and it's fine. But it has kept me fairly not doing a load as a result. Lots of cinema trips, which has been fine, but nothing too terribly exciting. I had a friend who's currently living in, so he is splitting his life between Colombia and Ecuador currently.
okay.
He's teaching.
So he's a drug lord,
Shh.
drug mule.
I'll never tell. Um, but he's doing like online English teaching essentially. So we can do it anywhere. It's just
Oh
that
yeah,
like
that's awesome.
he's only allowed to spend 6 months of the year in each of those places. So he's just kind of like enjoying the life in there. It's
Teaching English.
yeah. So he's doing like one-on-one classes over Zoom, basically.
So fun.
Yeah, I mean it's
I'd
like
be like, this is how you say fuck. This is how you say shit. This is that would it's what I'm doing with my children. It's working great.
Do you know what I mean? It's once you get like I think like he does have a lot of adult students, so they probably do want to learn stuff like that, like eventually, you know. But I mean, it's it was appealing. It was an interesting conversation. Um, the other thing that I've done is so since we last spoke, so there has been a bit of time. Beth's been away. Um, the UK has had a series of let's call them anti-immigration
Yeah,
marches.
yeah. It's so bad that Banksy did another set of
Oh yeah, animal.
tags
Yeah, he did.
and he was like, I just want to make people smile because shit's fucked right now.
It's
And I'm
true.
like, if he's not calling people out and he's just like, look at something funny and nice.
I mean, like fair play to him because it did need to happen. And in fairness, things have died down now. But like I was feeling, but it just didn't make me feel great. I'm also currently reading like a Noam Chomsky book, and it is
Mm.
a fairly brutal criticism of like the world since like the post-war sort of world,
Hmm.
and it doesn't create good headspace for me. It's very interesting, but it
Hmm.
doesn't that and also seeing the real life kind of rats wasn't a great headspace for me. So I went a friend and I went to an anti-immigration or sorry whoa a pro-immigration whoa let's cut that bit I need to cut that bit a pro-immigration march in Belfast um and what was incredible about it we went up they did some talks and they said at the time so like two talks in they were like currently, we've just had numbers of the amount of people that are here, and there was 15,000 people that were there, which is fantastic because
Wow.
all the kind of anti-immigration marches had been far lower than that. I think hundreds rather than thousands, you know. So it was very heartening to see that many people turn out, and it also just kind of like filled my cup a wee bit because I was feeling a bit like depleted with all the other kind of nastiness that was going on. So yeah, it was
Hmm.
good. I'm still reading that bloody Noam Chomsky book though, and it's depressing the shit out of me, but it's very interesting. But
Yeah,
these things
yeah,
balance out, you know.
they
So
do.
yeah.
It's funny, we have uh, I'm not gonna say which one, but there, if anyone wants to Google this shit, there's a presidential vice president candidate that is actually, there's a quote of him blaming our immigration problem on the Irish.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. Wow. I that's it.
Yeah. And I
I'm
was just
sure.
like, really? Like, let's check your heritage,
Oh God.
human
I'm sure that's a
person.
tortured
I can't
example
even,
analogy. I'll have to check that out. That sounds fascinating.
I
Oh
can't even
God.
right now.
What
Just
a
stay
what
off the
a
internets, people.
what a cool political environment we're all living in, Karen.
I know, it's so great. It's so great. It's the best.
But hey, we can look at the bright side. There are like-minded people out there. One of the speakers at the pro-immigration march was like, you know, he's like, I'm so happy you're all out here today. Good on you. And you know what? Congratulations on having excellent parents that raised you this way. And I'm like, thanks. Yeah, that's true. They did. So it was nice, and it was just, and it was, as I say, it's always nice in the face of all the kind of horrible stuff to see that there are so many people who are thinking the same way that you're thinking, you know. So it was very
Mhm.
nice.
It's interesting, like, because of COVID, there was a lot obviously going on during that time in our political sphere, and a lot of protests were happening for various reasons that I'm not going to get into. And
Yep.
I had that opportunity to go to some marches,
Hmm.
but because of where I live, what country I live in, I was like, I would be worried that someone would have a gun
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big concern. Yeah. Yeah.
or try and, drive their car into the crowd or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, if I didn't have children, that I would be like all over the place, but
Yeah.
like I have my first priority is definitely to my kids.
100%.
So I'm proud of you for going, and I
Thanks.
am also like grateful that you live in a place that you're probably not going to get shot if you attend.
Which is yeah, it's such a relief. It truly is. It really is. It's something that I think people really take for granted here. That's kind of like wild. It's such
Yeah,
a yeah, it really is. But
it
yeah,
was weird. It was weird to bring it back to me.
that's quite
Like
right.
being out of the country for a couple of weeks was great because our political climate is it's been a lot
Yeah,
recently. And it was just nice to be away from it all and to not have really access to information. And then we like fly back to the LAX airport, and like, I don't know, it probably gets shut down a couple times a year because someone shows up with a gun. And I had that thought, like we're all like trying to get our bags and we're waiting for the bus. And I'm like, oh my God, the longer we stand here, like the more likely someone's gonna show up with a gun, and
that's
like,
so
and then I'm like, if they do that, then
nuts.
they're gonna shut it down, and then we're not gonna be able to get to our car, and like da, da, da. And like these are the things I'm thinking as I'm just trying to get home with our family. So it's like it works its way into like your
Everything
everything process. Yeah. So,
sucks. I'm sorry. I really,
I
yeah.
know, I know. I'm totally like making it fun
Yeah, yeah,
today.
that's it. Yeah, no, here, no, hey, like I started it in fairness with me accidentally saying I was going to an anti-immigration,
You sure did.
but it's fine. Well, we corrected it. We've moved past it, all right? Nobody thinks that's the case anymore, right? Okay. So, do we have before we move on to our topic today? Do you have any what's occurring?
I didn't write it down, but we had a really nice compliment from someone, basically along the lines of like we're awesome, and um you know, they it was just really nice, and it's
That's
nice.
nice.
We've had a couple actually. So thank you for people. I just want to thank people for letting us know we're doing a good job and you're enjoying what you're hearing, and the feedback is always appreciated.
It really
So
is.
thank
It
you.
truly is.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm sorry I've not updated the website, but I've again no internet. So I'll get to it today probably.
um, I have a question actually because somebody asked me this when you were away, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
bother you. Was that do you have a preferred way for people to contact you?
No.
Okay, cool, perfect. Because he's just been sending you messages. He's been like commenting on like Facebook posts and things like that, and I said that's
Hmm.
probably as good a way as any. Um, but he was like one of my friends in particular was touched. There was a few different things. He really loved the books episode because he so rarely gets to chat about books and things like that. And he put a lot of comments about books that like were really meaningful to him on the book episode that was posted a week or so ago. But he was also we were texting back and forth a bit about the horror episode, and he was saying how chilled he was by the lady in Superman 3, the kind of robot lady.
And
And
what, sorry, which, say it
so
again?
well, I think I was saying, I said to you in Superman 3, which is the Richard Pryor one, this lady
Yes.
gets sucked into a machine and gets turned into like a
Yes.
robot thing.
Yes.
And how, as a child, that scarred me, that and Ghostbusters. And he was like chilled to the bone by that. I rewatched the clip as a result. Still terrifying. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, there's something like because she gets covered in metal, which is scary enough. I remember being scared about the thought of that happening to me, but her eyes are also like metallic. It's just a very freaky look. It really is. So yeah, good to know.
Would you entertain the idea of if we have someone that's like super into, I need to go and read Facebook comments. I haven't done that
Yeah,
yet, but I'll do that this afternoon. But like if someone's really into like wants to have a conversation, we could do
have
that. We
them
could do
on.
like yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I would be up for it. Yeah.
yeah. Cause like that would, yeah, I'm down. Let's do
So
it.
yeah, if people do have any, if people do want to have any things they like topics they actually want to talk to us about, yeah, we
Hmm.
definitely be
Hmm.
something we can consider. Yeah. So yeah.
And we vet you, and we like,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
think
You have to
that
be
would be,
cool. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like this is not a auto invite. Right, calm yourselves down. But yeah, it's certainly something we consider. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So maybe it's time to move on to today's topic. So I think today's topic is called Big Success with a exclamation mark at the end of it. Beth, I haven't run this by yours yet. Does that sound okay?
It sounds awesome.
Okay, perfect. So
I love a lot. You know this about me. I love exclamation
yeah,
points.
right. So I mean, it should be everywhere. So this is
Like
perfect.
literally,
Uh,
they're more, the more the better.
okay, let's have maybe two exclamation marks.
Okay,
We can talk
maybe
about this
three.
afterwards. Yeah,
Okay,
maybe
okay,
three.
okay.
Um, so basically it was one of the things that I have been mulling over. It's one of the things I always kind of like to mull over, and tying it back to I said there was something related to basketball that inspired this.
I know.
I
I was
rem
curious how you got there.
So I remember I always find it so interesting when there are people who reach the top of their game who are like renowned as the best in the world. Like how whenever you have reached that level of success, are you satisfied? Are you not? What does that mean exactly? And I find Michael Jordan to be such an interesting person in that regard because he is undisputably the best well, maybe not undisputably, but like I'd say for most people, the best basketball player ever.
I
And
mean, yeah, and
he's he's world
his
renowned.
legacy, yeah, his legacy continues partly because of Nike and Air Jordans,
Yes,
but I think especially for our generation, like when you think
absolutely.
like who's best, I always think of him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like and so like but I remember I found it so interesting. And I has just been thinking about this again recently, like him in the Last Dance documentary, which is a fantastic documentary.
It's so good. I
It's
watched it too.
so
I
good.
loved it. I loved it.
And like how he doesn't really feel like he is like he doesn't feel sort of fulfilled by it, you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
just kind of like a thing. It's why he ended up, trying to then get into baseball for a while. That didn't really go very well for him. And so on and so forth. It's just such an interesting thing because I find that, the idea of success or the idea of being successful feels so aspirational for so many people. Do you know what I mean? But it
Yes.
seems like I don't know. I wonder how in reaching that people would feel.
Okay, so I read something the other day about, I guess, like, for like, first of all, like, how do you measure, like, it's the idea of how do you measure success?
Yeah.
And I read something the other day. Actually, there's two things that, hold on, I have to take a note. So real quick before I forget. So
Hmm.
Andy,
Oh, I'm bumping.
take the
Okay,
dead
so
space.
I think that like it's something in my life. I don't think it really bothers me that much, and I don't think I maybe have a good idea in my life of successes I've had. I feel like I am a person people need to go, Andy, that was quite good, that thing that you were involved with. And I'm like, oh yeah. So it's never
Right.
been, it's being, the idea of being successful or even like success in things that I have done has always been kind of off to one side for me rather than being the focus.
Hmm.
Um, so again, another
I
reason I
thought
was
about
thinking
it.
about this.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That's sorry, that was kind of the end of the thought, really.
So I'm gonna just tag onto that and then I'll go to my two things that brought up for me. But I don't think of things as ever being really finished.
Yeah,
So it's more of like a temperature check, like how are things now in this moment with whatever thing I'm working on, and then like I adjust as needed.
yeah,
So it's almost like I don't think of success as like a box that you check or like I reached like I did this, check it off the list, or I'm
yeah,
the best at this, check it off the list. It's definitely, I think, more of a fluid thing for me.
yeah.
And like uh so I also this is random, but Dexter Holland of the band The Offspring,
Uh-huh.
this is random. He
Hit me.
is so he's in the band The
Yeah.
Offspring. He's also as of as because of this trajectory, like he started with math and was super into math and was like, oh, I also like music. And so like for him, those two things were like a language that he could speak.
Hmm.
Um, he also founded a record label. He is a creator of a hot sauce called Gringo Bandito, and he holds a PhD in molecular biology. That he was so yeah, he was the valedictorian of his high school class. Super smart. He got his PhD in 2017.
Wow.
So like he's definitely like kind of one of those people where he focuses on something that he's really, really into and then like follows it through
Love it.
and like utilizes like not only follows through, but like it's something that he can keep working on for the rest of his life kind of thing.
Yeah,
And like I was so impressed with that.
that's
Like
fantastic.
you're not just in a band, like you're all these other things. And I was like, then you look at your own life and you're like, okay, well, I don't have a hot side, I got a record company, I got, like what have I
Yeah.
got? What have I got here? So I think like, and then also, okay, this is another random thing, but I was reading an article, I think in Vanity Fair with George Clooney and Brad Pitt,
Hmm.
that just came out. And George Clooney was talking about um he got wounded really badly in a movie. This was probably a decade ago.
Yeah.
And he was like having like spinal fluid leaking out of him, like massive migraines and like on all the Vicodin. And his doctor was basically like, you need, like, if you were in this amount of pain when you were born, you wouldn't know any differently. So you would just assume that this is how you felt all the time. So you
Mm.
need to like basically like reestablish your relationship with pain. But he's like, but you can do that with everything in your life, right?
How
And I
interesting.
was like, oh, like these little like mushroom cloud in my brain goes off, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And like, how would you then relate that to success? And then you were like, hey, I think we should do this thing on success. And I'm like, I have all these things that I'm reading about like that totally tie into the topic.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking, like, how did you define success 10 years ago?
Me personally,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good question. I think that I maybe even take it further back. Like I feel
No.
like what because like I feel like my need drive for that or my need for that, you know, to be successful has really kind of diminished as I've kind of gotten older. But like I feel like I thought that to be successful, I would be like have a well-paid job, I would have a relationship, I would probably have a family, maybe kids or whatever. Um, but I don't know that that was ever something that I really wanted. It just felt like that was the course that you should go on. And like I have been in the position of having a well-paid job, a good, well-regarded, well-paid job, being engaged and going, I'm not happy with like this isn't satisfying me in any major way. Um, and I think seeing it from, inside of that really kind of gave me more of a perspective in terms of what I want, I guess, or what I kind of need. So I think, very much going back, it was a more traditional life. But again, I think that was just something that I was kind of told that I should want rather than it being anything I really wanted, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if some of it is just like age and not knowing what the fuck like your
Yeah,
path is supposed to be. So you just kind of like, like you go to college, you get a job, you start a family. It's like the thing
yeah,
that the path that you follow. And I always find it to be really admirable when people go their own way and
yeah,
like stand up for what they want and let things go that aren't working for them, even if it means blowing up their lives.
yeah,
And like I would say like, 10 or 15 years ago, like I was very external about my success, like what my job was meant a lot, like how many hours I worked more than you
yeah,
mattered, and like who I worked with and where I worked and where I was traveling, what hobbies, and like it was very like sharing all my shit on social media and like it that I think part of it maybe had to do with the invention of social media.
Yes,
So I was definitely living my life more externally for other people probably.
absolutely. Uh,
And like
yeah,
that's now like how do you define success for yourself?
I think, like, I mean, it's certainly, I guess, I'm always striving to find like happiness or like a equilibrium within myself that allows me to like be happy more often, probably because like I think happiness is, a really kind of ephemeral goal. I don't think it's something that anybody really reaches. Um, so uh that's kind of it's more things within myself. And it's like what we always go back to in this podcast and we always touch on because it's obviously so important to both of us. But like yoga has been so valuable in terms of, you're talking earlier about success oftentimes is concerned with this end goal. What if I get this job? What if I, whatever? What if I, get this, do well in this sporting event or whatnot? But like, it's much more about the path because really the kind of end goal, it's so often just isn't really satisfying. You'll maybe get like 5 minutes if you're lucky of like a nice sort of like endorphin hit of being like, woohoo, I'm so happy, this is great. And then you crash out and it's just like you still need to get on back with the like, minutia of like dealing with your life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I would say like I define success now with like a feeling I get in my body.
Hmm.
Um
Hmm.
like it's just like I'll have a moment and I'll be like this is this is cool or like wow, I feel at peace right now or
Yeah.
like I'm okay with this thing happening and like whereas like 6 months ago it might have been like a huge trigger or upset me and like look at me, I'm not
Yeah.
upset or and like that like even little thing like I guess I'm
Like
finding
small
success in
victories.
the
Yeah.
smaller things
Yeah.
a lot more than working on a film shoot, right?
Yeah.
So I also think like not shouting about it. And granted, like I was posting stuff about my vacation, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but like
Hmm.
something really cool happened. And that's my joy that I'll talk about. And like those kinds of things, like it's less about like, look at this thing that I did that's so cool, and more like, look at this thing that's happening. And like hopefully like by me interacting or like doing something, someone can learn something from it.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of more of where I think I'm at. Um
I
so it's gone from like more external success to more internal success,
yeah.
I guess.
I think that's so much healthier, to be honest with you. And I feel like, certainly from my perspective anyway, and that's increasingly the direction I'm heading in as well. But even in terms of like, the external values that I see or the external stuff that I see that is useful for me is more small things as well. So it's like, you know, if I think about the choir in recent times, like I'm happy that we do shows and everything, but what I love is whenever I see new groups of friends forming because of this thing that I put together, and like these relationships build, and it's like that's to me what's the best, some of the best stuff about life. Do you know what I mean? So I think that is a really big success as far as I'm concerned, because it's like that's the sort of stuff that's important to me, and I think it has taken me time to realize that.
Mm-hmm. I that's like I think both you and I love the concept of like building community
Yeah.
and working within community. And it's like, I guess like even working with the parent teacher association, like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm helping and like the events that we have and like even like just moving within groups of people and like putting things together, it feels good. And I totally understand that. Um, so like currently, what things in your life do you deem to be like your most successful?
I think that um in terms of things, this podcast for one, absolutely,
Hmm.
it's a success because like I get to spend time with my friend every week, and
Hell
well,
yeah.
most weeks unless she's away on holiday, selfishly.
Sorry. Whatever, you're going away too.
That's true. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and
One upping each other. Fine.
and um also like the choir definitely is giving me a big sense of fulfillment in that regard. I mean, not a big sense of fulfillment, but I definitely feel it's been successful. I'm happy with that. I am, happy that the work that I have put into that has paid off in that regard. Um, I mean, those are the two immediate things that spring to mind, but like on smaller scale, like I I love the relationship I built with my dog. That may sound it is a small thing, but it's an important thing.
It's
I
huge.
take care of her. I look out for her, and like I still all and like I think that not all aspects of my sort of like relations in my life are great, but like in terms of friends, I feel like such a success. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel so successful in that regard, and it's something that is endlessly repays the work that I put into it. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
it's it's such a big deal and continues to be so.
Yeah. I would say like to hop onto the yoga train also, like I think that has been so instrumental for the inner work that I've been able to do.
Yeah,
The doors that open and just the way that I can move through things in a different way with a
yeah.
different perspective. I think my children, just like watching them, not as a reflection of me at all, but like who they are in the world on their like standing on their own 2 feet makes me proud and happy.
Hmm.
They better be fucking successful because
Yeah, you need a nice retirement home.
that's right. Um, I would say my closest relationships have been I'm proud of them,
Yeah.
like I have a friend going through something right now and it's like, first person they call is me and they're like, this big thing is happening. And I'm like, if you're calling me, it means that you really want this to happen and you're gonna do this big thing and blow up your life basically. And it's like the fact that I'm I can be there for someone in that way makes me really happy. Um, for both good and bad and that goes on in people's lives. And honestly, to touch on like our earlier topics, like I think my view of the world is pretty successful.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right?
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Give me some definitions. Give me some examples. Sorry of that.
Oh,
Oh,
like
okay. Sorry.
yeah, I can't really
Oh,
because
so
I don't want to
like just
like
I guess in
dive into
terms of
like politics and all of that,
yes,
but the way
like
I think of the
yes,
world
like
and
us
like
both talking about
yes,
anti-immigration. No,
absolutely.
God damn it,
Yes.
why did I keep saying it the wrong way? Or pro-immigration. Yeah, yeah, those pro-immigration marches.
Your anti-stance on anti-immigration?
Thank you.
That's
That's
what you
exactly
mean?
right. That's what I
So when you
mean.
say anti, that's what you mean,
I'm
right?
really revealing
Oh,
myself
it's
here. Oh
okay.
no.
But like that, I'm because I you got to get clear on this shit right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you
So
really
I'm
do.
pretty proud of where I'm at. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are your areas where you find yourself to be least successful?
Romantically, a number one with a bullet. I don't know. I don't think I'm
I,
like,
I would disagree with that, but
yeah, well, perhaps, but like monetarily, not successful at all. I mean,
mm,
it's fine. I'm getting by, but I need to figure out a better balance with that because I just don't, I've never had a good relationship with money. Like, I've never been bad with it, but I have never, it has just caused me a lot of like stress. I mean, so say we all, right? But
yeah.
like, it's just, I've never, like, I know other people who like, can like review their statements every month and make sure there's nothing going out. And I'm like, I don't want to fuck. I don't want to go near it. I just know that I don't spend too much. I check my balance occasionally, and that's as much of a relationship as I want with that, you know. So yeah, I guess those things are the immediate stuff that springs to mind. Like, yeah, I mean, I think, uh, and certainly, you know, the other kind of major one, I guess, for me would be mental health, which is always a
Mm,
tough, you know, needle to thread. I never really know what even success would look like with that, you know, and like the goalposts and the kind of my sort of feelings on it kind of changes all the time anyway. So it's really kind of it's always a tough one to navigate, but I'd say that's another area that I feel not terribly successful in a lot of the time, you know.
mhm.
What about
I would
you?
say my lack of hobbies
Yeah.
bothers me. And it's like, I look at Dexter Holland from The Offspring, and I'm
Huh.
just like, I don't follow through as much. That's not, I mean,
That's
I
not
just
true.
wish I wish I had more hobbies that were
Yeah.
like creative.
Yeah.
Um, Not to say I'm not creative, and like this podcast, I
Yeah.
love it. And like this is like
Absolutely
my
creative.
version of creativity because I
Yeah.
do like I like being in front of the computer. I like watching my shows. I
Yeah.
like reading my books. I like taking the dog for a walk. I like thinking about doing yoga but not actually doing it, right? Like,
Mental yoga.
uh-huh. And then like I've talked to you about this, but my dad left me, a dozen or
Uh-huh.
so finished screenplays that are really, really good, and I haven't been able to get them made into films, and that is an unsuccess tick mark that I have, that
Hmm.
I dabble and here and there, and push the people that I know every so often. But I would really like to do something with those
Yeah.
to really fulfill his dream
Yeah.
and mine now.
Yeah.
Um, I wrote a book and I did nothing with it,
Oh yeah.
and I'm not gonna, I don't
Yeah.
think, but like,
That's okay.
yeah, and like I sometimes like less and less, but my health is still like something that I need to George Clooney it a little bit and just like change my perspective of like what I think I should be able to do. Like I told you, I got strep throat when I was in French Polynesia,
Hmm.
and I got super sick, and then I couldn't go underwater because it like anytime I
Oh
get
yeah,
sick
of
now,
course.
it affects my brain. And I just get pissed off, and I'm like, your body should be able to do this because it could do this before. And it's like, no, you need to like readjust your dial,
Yeah.
girl, and like give yourself time to heal. You got really sick, like, and every time you get sick, it's just going to affect your body differently.
Yeah.
But like old me is still like, God damn it.
Yeah. I could.
Meh.
Yeah. Yeah. 20 years
Fuck
ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
And it's
know.
like you're
Ah,
gonna
yeah.
be 45 here in, a couple months. So
I
like
know.
start adjusting because you're gonna have to, because it's happening.
It's true.
And
But
now
I,
it's not just your health, it's age.
yeah, I know. Goddamn age.
Yay! So fun.
It's, you know, one of the things, and it was, like, part of me in terms of like the big successes and the people that are like, renowned for being successful. I heard a really fun way of looking at it, which was like there was a podcast was talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger and was talking about all his many successes, and he's been
Fascinating fellow.
fascinating fellow. And they described him as being the right kind of broken for this world.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's a
Hmm.
really it's just it really kind of says a lot because because like being really successful in this world, which is flawed at a minimum, right, is not,
Yeah.
it's not always like the be all and end all, and like I think that oftentimes, and I think that everybody's broken in some way or another. So like I love the idea of him just being broken and the nature of his brokenness just slots into this broken world in kind of a very kind of successful way. And I'm like, that really such an interesting angle on the nature of success to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I read his autobiography,
Oh,
and like, he's describing like being in the army and like sleep, like digging a hole under a tank to sleep.
wild.
And like, look at him now. He's like feeding his barnyard animals in his kitchen with his
So nice.
grandkids. And it's just like, in his, compression socks.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's like he took, I guess it's like you take the pieces, the broken pieces, and you do something with them.
yeah. That's it. That's it.
And then maybe if you're lucky, the broken pieces match the broken world in the right way.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, the puzzle's solved.
I think that really, to me anyway, says a lot about, the nature of success in this world. I mean, you talk about like we were talking earlier about um social media and how damaging I think that has been in terms of like, because it is a fucking massive comparison tool, and that comparison is the thief of joy, and it truly is. It's hard not to like see other people, and a very very kind of narrow angle
Yeah, it's like
filtered
the
view into
felt.
people's lives,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
go, oh, what an incredible time they're having. Why is my life not like this? And it's like, I know the reality of these things. I've been in the other end of that, and I've like been sending out photos, and people are like, "Oh my God, what an amazing time you're having!" And I'm like, it,
You're
it
like,
was it was good, but like
yeah.
it was crap sometimes as well, but it was good for the
Uh-huh.
most part.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing by any, so it's just it's really interesting, and I think it's one of the uh, more damaging things about sort of modern life in that way, in terms of it's hard to not look at these things and feel less successful.
Hmm. I agree with that. I Can I ask you, this is kind of random, but like,
Hmm.
what things happened to you that you thought were unsuccessful, but were actually like a blessing and turned into a success?
I might have to think about that. I know that one of the things that I was thinking is that in my life I have a handful of times had from managers or places that I
Mm.
worked basically been told, you're a slacker, you're not fucking blah blah blah. And I have proven them wrong on nearly every single occasion when they have actually come back to me, either to apologize or asked for me specifically to do jobs and things like that because they knew you do a good job. And I was kind of like,
Such
so
a
not
slacker.
directly to answer that question, but that is very much a case of like me going, well, look, whatever opinion you have of me, you're wrong, and I will prove to you that you're wrong. Which was it's quite satisfying. And it's more like, considering my personality and what you know of it and other people know of it, it's not super like me really. But yeah, I that's definitely the first thing that jumps to mind anyway.
Hmm. I would say like for me, like my health and like having to be on disability
Hmm.
has been the most successful unsuccessful thing because it's allowed me to do things like this.
Yeah,
And, it's allowed me to be available for my children, and it's allowed me to just kind of like, I'm still coming out of like workaholic mode, I think. And it's allowing me to just like have
yeah,
time and space to be like, who the fuck, okay, like I'm clear on who the fuck I am, but now I get to be clear on like what do I like to do. And that feels like a success that got born out of something that
I
fucking
like that.
sucked. Mm-hmm.
Um, that as you were saying, so um, the one thing sprung to mind as well, just as you were talking there in my own life, which was almost certainly my last relationship, which seemed like a catastrophe at the time, but has sent my life in a much more positive path and has opened up so many new avenues, so many new friendships that have been wonderful, and very much the path that I needed to go down. So like it was yeah, felt very
Yeah.
unsuccessful at the time,
Yeah.
but it has made a huge difference in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like same train because I was thinking like my first marriage.
Hmm.
When I was like in my early 20s. It was horrible. And like had it not happened, then I wouldn't have like this great life with Mike and like these two adorable children
So
who I
true.
mostly like. Um,
Depends,
so,
depends on the
right.
day.
Depends on the day. Um, what's something that you wish you were successful at, but it's not going to happen?
Hmm. So I was going to say playing a musical instrument, but I am
Uh-huh.
determined that I will learn a musical instrument before I
Yeah.
die. That
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make that happen. I guess that I had always kind of not I had always, but I always kind of wished I'd had a sport like when I was younger. I bet it's never going to happen for me. I'm not. It's just not. I mean, like obviously I'm in my 40s now. It's unlikely. Very few sportsmen start at this age. But like I don't mind that, but it's very much something that's not gonna happen for me.
Yeah. I said singing.
Yeah. Hey
Like
Beth.
uh I love it. And like
Uh
it's
yeah.
just not gonna happen.
I refuse to believe that, and we're gonna have to do some
All
karaoke whenever I
right. Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah. I would do that.
Okay,
I
all
just
right.
need like 6 or 8 drinks and then
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. Oh, that's both no
And then
problems.
I'm gonna hit you with No Rain by Blind Melon.
Oh yeah, I love it. Hard to beat.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Something you wish you were not successful at.
Um, I wish I wasn't so darn likable and so many stupid friends.
I wrote down being so charming.
Yeah. Also, wish it was people didn't like me so much. It's like,
Right?
it's the yeah,
Same.
get the
I
fuck out of my
know.
face, you know.
I know. I know.
Um,
Um, yeah, for reals though. You are charming and wonderful and all of those things. And you are
I
successful.
like in my sort of more down moments as well, I'm kind of like, oh, for fuck's sake, what is this person that I
Hmm.
like and I want to spend time
Yes,
with
but
me?
you're
I'm
like,
like,
why? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I have the
Jesus,
same
I
thoughts.
guess. And like but it's like, it's what they say, it's nothing your thoughts don't define who you are, it's your actions. And like, my actions are that I spend time with these people. I enjoy the time I spend with them. I'm happy that I do it, it's just,
Yeah,
those thoughts cross my mind sometimes.
same. Um, I will say I was a really good employee. I was really competent.
Hmm.
I worked myself to death. And
Hmm.
like I remember my boss telling me once, and I think I've said this maybe on or off pod, but basically he was like, you know, you're competent. And the more competent you are, the more work you're gonna get.
Yep.
And the more we're gonna give to you. And I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. And I was
Yep.
like, yay, and this sucks all at the same time. Like it's like a shit sandwich or
It
something.
is.
I don't know. I don't know. But it definitely like not only did it not necessarily lead me down some good roads for myself, like knowing like at my core who I am now with like work-life balance or whatever, but I think it impacted my health. I really do. I
Oh,
think
I'm
I got
sure.
sick because I was so fucking stressed out and I was in like adrenaline mode all the time and it just cracked me.
Yeah.
And like if I wasn't so good at jobs and like getting shit done, then I don't think that I would have gotten as sick as I did.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But like
no one hire me
it's
or
such
ask me to work.
yeah, don't ask us to work, you motherfuckers.
Mm-mm.
Um, like you see, the problem is that like it seems to me, working and success seems so linked for so many years in like so many people's lives. I think for throughout all of some people's lives, that it's hard not to see that as an important path for like feeling successful, but it's a fucking load of shit. It's just a job. At the end of the day, it gives you money to live. There are very few jobs that aren't that. In my opinion, I know some people that have some that they quite like, but I know very few people who truly love their jobs just because they have to do it. Um, so yeah, fuck work success as far as I'm concerned.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Until you get to the point where you're like, the work does itself, right? Because
Yeah,
everyone else is doing the work and then you're living on your mega yacht. But
that's
honestly,
it.
I don't think that's success.
I don't think so. I think that I mean, it's so interesting how many of these people who have this mega success who aren't able to just sit back and kind of go, okay, great, I'm content, I'm happy. They're still striving for more, you know.
Yeah, they're like, now I'm going to help all these people
Yes. Well,
and make the world a better place,
well, some of
right?
yeah. It's so somebody pointed out was the like the most notable person who has done extremely rich person who has done this is Bill Gates, probably. Like he has pumped a significant amount of his fortune into these things, into
I would
helping.
argue that his wife
Yes.
has done more than him.
Oh, I think I
But he
agree with you on
was
that.
obviously, yeah, the guy that
And then
started it all and
he started it all,
she
and then he
yeah.
has a reputation of like putting microchips in people's blood to track them. You know, it's like you
Yeah.
can't.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yep.
but you know, yay to success!
Yay, success. Big, big success.
Big success. Three exclamation marks potentially. Um, yeah, I suppose like so. I mean, I had a few questions written down. You've asked most of them. I suppose at the end of the day, does it matter to you if you feel successful or not?
That's a really good question. I think it used to matter.
Yeah,
I don't think it does anymore.
I think I'm the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a healthier way to be, in
And I
my
don't know
opinion.
like, I don't know what changed that for me. Like, I can't
Yeah.
really necessarily, I think it's just like a bunch of little things all leading to not giving a shit. Or
Yes.
maybe it's like getting to a certain age where you're just like, what the fuck ever.
Yeah. So much of this shit's dumb. Yeah, that you
Yeah.
think is important. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
hear you.
none of it, like, very little of it actually matters at the end of the day.
So true. And I think
So,
that's a healthier place to be in for sure.
mhm,
Love it.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else or shall we start wrapping up?
Think we can start talking about your favorite topic.
Awesome. Well, just before we get off it, I mean, if anybody else has any thoughts on success and what it means to you, we'd absolutely love to
Mhm.
hear. Because I really enjoyed this conversation, and I think it was. I'm glad we chatted about it because it's just
It's a
it's
great topic.
yeah. So yeah, if people do have thoughts on it, we would love to hear them because I think it's such it's a topic that people have such a kind of widely different set of opinions on, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I think the
if
definition of success is being unsuccessful.
yeah, I think so. Conversely,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, we love it. Cool. Okay, so we are at our favorite part of the podcast, as Beth talked about. It is what's been bringing you joy. You've got some good ones this
I
week.
do. I have one in
Okay.
particular. So, we were staying, I think they're the Windward Islands. It's either the Society Islands or the Windward Islands.
Okay.
They're all sort of in the same area. I can't remember. So it's this island called Huahine. There's maybe 6,000 people on the whole island. And we were on the water. No, it's the other island. Doesn't matter. We were on Maria, which is one of the Windward Islands, and we were staying on the water. I'm
Hmm.
so good at telling stories.
This is
And
it's full of holes.
I like my kid, I know, right? But we had like free kayaks, so Mike had like dropped a cinder block in the water so the kids could like tie the kayak up and just like play around in it.
Uh-huh.
And it was also like there were neighbors that would, shuck the or descale their fish because it's
Uh-huh.
definitely an island where people like live off the ocean and live on the ocean and live off the ocean. Um, which is another topic that I'll talk about another day because I
Yeah,
want to start getting into saving the Pacific Ocean and
absolutely.
this is a new mania that I might try and be successful in.
Okay.
But okay, so but I start like noticing there are a lot of like little black tip sharks swimming, and then it's kind of like Stingray Alley. So we had like a group of stingrays that would, you know, be going past the house, and I was like, that's cool, and like we pet stingrays, and like, it's kind of a thing there. And there was one in particular that just kind of like swam up to us. And usually like they'll sniff and see if you've got any food, or whatever, but it didn't want food. It wanted pets. It wanted snuggles and
So
cuddles and
cool.
loveys. And so I spent it about an hour in the water, just sitting there, like petting the stingray. And it was the coolest fucking thing. It was huge. It was probably, I don't know, like 3.5, 4 feet wide. And its tail was probably 4 feet. So it was
So
one of the
cool.
bigger stingrays I've seen.
Yeah.
And she would just like, she, I was, petting her on her nose and petting her on her back. And then she would like swim away and then like think about it for a minute and then come back and just like plop herself down and like, flap her little stingray
Yeah.
wings and like get settled in. And so it was like it was I don't have moments like that where I could just like do something forever.
Yeah.
I could have pet her forever. If
Yeah.
someone would have brought me food, I would have shit myself in the water to keep petting this fucking stingray. So Harper got a little video of it, named her Glimmer Cuddles.
Mhm.
But it's just like I felt so good connecting with this animal that I have nothing in common with.
Yeah.
And it was just this moment of like connection, and it felt really good.
It's awesome. Love it.
Yeah. What do
That's a
you
great
got?
one. I mean, just a load
There's
of
no glitter
shit.
cuddles,
And
the
no glitter cuddles in
stingray.
my story. Um, I think that like so I've been to see a lot of movies recently, and
Mhm.
I saw Alien Romulus,
Romulus.
which is not bad,
Okay.
but
Okay.
that's not what's been bringing me joy. I think I actually enjoyed it overall, but it had a few very frustrating callbacks to movies that just felt so unnecessary and like ruined scenes for me, honestly. But still not bad, and still like I think better than the like last few Alien movies. But I went to see Trap, the most recent M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, how was it?
Oh, it was so much fun. It was just
Really?
it I don't think it's for everyone. It is proper trash. Like it is gleefully trashy, and I loved that about it. It was just I just had so much fun with it. Like there's a point pretty early on to me, I was like, oh, this movie's bullshit, and it loves that it is. And I just embraced it so much. And like I read him talking about it, and he was like, my challenge was trying to make the antagonist the protagonist and try to find sympathy for him. And he kind of manages it. You're like, am I rooting for this like serial killer?
Yeah.
But
Like
like,
Tony Soprano.
yes, it's true. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that is a big frustration I have where it's like,
Mhm.
they like what is it, TV's top 10 greatest villains, and one of them is like Skylar White from Breaking Bad, and I'm like, all right,
No, yeah.
Skylar had her problems, but her husband was a drug dealer. Right? You understand that? Oh, wild. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed Trap. I was almost like cackling at the end of it. Like it was so ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I will say, like, I was thinking about him as a director, and I just like him.
I,
I
I
just like
think I
his,
like most of his movies because like
yeah.
all his early run I really like. Like there's about four movies there that I really like. I know a lot of people. What is this? Is it The Village? I really enjoyed The Village.
I loved
I loved
Village.
Unbreakable, obviously
Uh-huh.
Sixth Sense. I
Uh-huh.
really liked Signs as well, but I feel like the wheels were
Yeah.
starting to come off a bit then. And then in terms of his recent stuff, I Knock at the Cabin, or is it Knock at the Door, whatever it is, I quite
Cabinet,
enjoyed.
yeah.
And I thought The Old was again
Yeah.
ridiculous and brilliant
Yeah.
and so much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Same. So I'm excited. And Josh Hartnett is
Oh,
coming out of like
yeah,
semi-retirement and like had taken a break, I think because he had so many stalkers that he
yeah,
like moved to London or something. So he's like dipping his toe back in. So people don't be crazy
yeah,
so that actors can act. Um, but I'm just glad that like he's back out
yeah. He's
because
he's great in it.
yeah, yeah,
He's
good.
he's having so much fun in it. It's really good. Yeah. So
Okay,
so
okay,
that really brought me joy recently.
okay. Good,
Okay.
because it's like we're gonna do the kids started school, so we're gonna start doing day dates again.
Hell yeah.
And which usually starts with Bloody Mary to film.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
told me.
like,
I already told you.
he's
That's a
like
great
Alien Romulus, and I'm like, I don't know. Like if I'm gonna
chop, chop,
not
gotta
waste my
chop.
time, that's what I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Uh,
I'm so in.
it's like it's a go in, accepting that it is kind of daft, and you will love it. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, so good. Awesome. Okay, so nearly the end of this week's episode, Beth, can you tell everyone where they can find
You
us?
can find us at bendypodcast.com
Mhm.
and everywhere else. We're all over all the
Yeah.
things.
Find
Everywhere.
us everywhere.
With exclamation
Yep.
points.
Three at a minimum, please. Awesome. All right. In that case, we've come to the end of our episode properly. Let me clear my throat for this very important
Oh,
bit.
it's been so long.
And
Okay.
we'd like to remind you, as always, to
Stay
stay bendy.
bendy.
Oh, masterful one after two
That was
weeks away.
would you call it successful?
Very successful. Big success. All right. We love you.
Love you
Bye.
guys. Bye. Bye bye.
Nice. That was good.
Good.